Hello everyone, this is Quinn again. In the last video I showed you how to step sequence melodic samples as well as live record drum samples and how to use the mixer on the circuit rhythm here. Now I'm going to show you some other tricks on how to build your own songs and how to record your own samples and incorporate them into your songs. So let's get started. So we have a project open here and I have a little drum sequence, but now I want to record my own sample. So I have my phone here and I have a song queued up and it's connected with a cable into the back of the circuit right here. And you can see it's going into the line in mono because I'm just doing one channel right now, but you can do stereo as well if you want to record stereo. So we have it all hooked up, and when we want to record a sample, we need to go to the sample record page, which is right up here. And now we're in a completely different menu. So we want to look for pads that are red. That means they have no samples on them. All these white pads here have samples on them already. And again, we can scroll through all of our sample pages here. So we're on page 8 right now. We have some free samples here, so let's record something. Okay, so we have a song queued up here. It's connected to the input. So let's see how this sounds.
My dreams are never true.
If we feel like it's a little loud or soft, we can use this knob here, which is the monitor level, to change how loud the sound is coming in.
But somehow I keep on loving you.
And let's get that section there where he says, I keep on loving you. That sounds like it'd be pretty fun to mess around with. So I rolled it back a little, and we have it selected to an empty sample here. So now we can record it, and how we can do that is we start playing the song, and then we hit record when we want to start recording, and then hit it again when we want to stop. So I'm gonna bring it back a little further.
Somehow I keep on loving you.
So now I stop the recording there. It's gonna load a little bit. And now it's right here.
I keep on loving you. I keep on loving you.
And we can change the, you can change the trimming here as well.
I keep on loving. I keep on loving. I keep on loving you.
So cut off some of that little gap at the beginning. Oh wait.
I keep on loving you.
And I forgot, when you make a trimming edit in this menu, you have to hit save to actually save it, because it deletes the rest of it from the device. Okay, so now we have our sample recorded. Let's go here. So it's on page 8, but now we're back on track 2. And well, this is already on page 8, but you would have to scroll to the right page and select it.
I keep on loving you. I keep on loving you.
So now I'm gonna trim it. So it's just the U, and then there's a bit at the end. We'll just. Okay, that sounds good. So now we can record this just like we recorded anything else. That sounds kind of cool. So we have our drums here. So let's do that. Although, you'll notice that pattern I played is a little longer than 16 steps. So if we want to do that, then we can actually record up to 32 steps, which is really useful. So if we hit this little button here that says 1, 16, 17, 32, now it turns orange, and we can toggle between. So let's say we put a note here. There's now a second page. So this is another set of 16, and we have 32 steps in this pattern now. So we can do a longer sequence. So let's do what I was just doing. It turns orange. There we go, we have our 32-step sequence. And why don't we add some effects to this as well? I think that'd sound good with the sample. So I'm going to go to the effects page, which is over here now. And we have two types of effects on the machine. All of the pink pads are delay, and all of the yellow pads are reverb. So each pad is a different setting of delay, and generally the further bottom right you go, the longer the delay gets. And the way we can add it to a track is we go to the knob that corresponds with the track. So this was track 2. So we can just turn up this 2 knob. And we can add some delay. And you can mess around with these different pads. So for example, this should be a bit longer. And it is. You can also get some cool effects when you switch between different lengths of delay like that. Let's do that, a little short delay. And then let's also add some reverb to it. So let's try this reverb and just start adding it. Let's get a little longer. Okay, that sounds pretty good. So now, this drum pattern over here, it's a little boring, but I kind of like it simple. So let's add another pattern to it. So now we're going to go to the patterns page here. You can see here each track corresponds with the colored column, and we're on the first pattern of every track. And there's actually 8 patterns because you can go a page down. But right now everything's on the first pattern. If we switch this to the second pattern here, there's nothing there, so we don't hear any drums. So let's just duplicate this pattern. So now if we select this pattern, it's there as well. And we can change this up a little bit so we have a little variation. So let's do like a... So there, now we have 2 different drum patterns. But I want it to cycle between the 2 patterns. So I'm going to go back to the pattern menu. And you can chain patterns that are next to each other from here. So I'm going to tap this first pattern and then tap the pattern that I want to chain it to. And you can chain a bunch of patterns in a row. So now I have 4 patterns chained, but there's nothing on these 2. So for now, I'm just going to do it like this. So if we play this now, so it's chaining the 2 patterns together. I'm going to turn this down a little. Okay, and then let's say, maybe I didn't like this pattern that much. I can always clear it by doing clear and then tapping the pad that I want to get rid of. So just do that, and now there's nothing there. But I can always go back. So let's duplicate this again. Oh, wait. Let's go back to the pattern we had before. So now I have the 2 patterns here. what we can do now is we can actually save it to a scene. So in the mixer section here, we have all these dim white pads at the bottom. These are your scenes. And with these, you can save basically your pattern chains, how your patterns are laid out to a specific scene. So I'm going to, let's make a duplicate of this pattern as well. So we're gonna, let's chain those and then duplicate this to here. And then I'm gonna make this, let's make this an octave higher. So to do that, I can do Shift and then do arrow up. And now it should be, yeah, an octave higher. So now we have two patterns of this, and let's go mixer. I want to save the octave down version with the drums. So I'm going to go Shift and then press the pad that I want to save it to. So now, as long as I'm on this, it'll play the octave down version. Now I'm going to save another version that has the octave up. So now it's the octave up. I'm going to go back to the mixer. I'm going to save this to the second scene here. So now I can switch between really quickly. And you can even chain these together like patterns. So now it'll go from one to the other and then back. And so with this, you can start building out songs just by saving different scenes, chaining them together, and you can make full songs with it. And then finally, when you want to save your project, you can hit save and then hit it again. It'll turn green. Or you can do it from the projects page as well, just to make sure you're on the right project. Oh, and then hit it again or hit the pad that you want to save it to. And there you go. That is how to start making like full songs on the circuit rhythm, because you can definitely make full songs on this thing as well.